Well, hello, beautiful people. It's me, Sam, from your friendly neighborhood Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, and I am here to do a short Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse spoiler review. Once again, spoiler, and a little breakdown, as well as some thoughts on some complaints that some people are having about the movie. And what a more perfect day than a Sunday, man. It's my favorite day, Sunday morning. Got my little energy juice going on right here, and yeah, I watched this movie twice, and I couldn't rate it the first time. I felt like I needed to watch it at least another time, and to be honest with you, I think that I loved it even more the second time around. Like, this is one of those movies that the repeat viewing value for it is going to be high. You're going to have people going back to it again and again, and I certainly am going to watch it, like, I don't know, maybe a couple more times, maybe even 3, who knows. I love this movie, man. I think it's a masterpiece. Yeah, there are some imperfections, but in terms of the genre, the superhero genre, in terms of the animation genre, there's nothing more like a high award I can give it than a masterpiece, because that's just what it is, man. I love this movie, man. I love the energy. I love the animation. I love the voice acting. I love the humor. And my God, like the Easter eggs, everything. And usually Easter eggs are like, sometimes they people just put them in there for fan service. But for this film, although they're there for fan service, they make sense within the context of the movie. And I love that. I think this movie puts to shame Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I think it puts to shame No Way Home. Although I love No Way Home, and I thought Multiverse of Madness was okay, this movie dealt with the multiverse better than both those films. I think that in terms of the superhero genre, it's dealt with the multiverse the best so far. I loved it, man. I loved it. And I know a lot of people are complaining about the 2-hour and 14-minute runtime. Absolutely not for me. I think this movie earns it, because not only are you getting these, big action set pieces, but you're getting these smaller character moments, these quiet moments, and I love that. I absolutely loved it. I think this is what gives the movie the heart. I think this is what makes the movie such a great movie. Not just a great animated movie, not just a great superhero movie. Now, people may go in and say oh, the first half doesn't have that many action scenes. I think the first half has some really good action scenes. I think it has more character moments, and then it's where the second half of the movie where you're starting to get more into that frenetic action set pieces that people come to enjoy. I loved how the movie opened. We get that 20-minute prologue with Spider-Gwen, and showing her perspective, showing her relationship with Captain Stacy and her relationship with Peter Parker before he died, and how, once again, there's the spoilers, where he was getting bullied, and he just wanted to be special, and he made the serum that turned him into the Lizard, and Spider-Gwen accidentally kills him, but she didn't know it was Peter Parker. I love that. I love the moment where she has to reveal her identity to her father in the first 20 minutes, and how you can see the conflict, the hurt, but the love for his daughter, but he knew he still had to take her in. Just small moments like that I just adored. The way the movie ended, I thought was perfect. Now, a lot of people are complaining about this movie doesn't feel complete. It doesn't feel complete, and this is where my theory of it. Although the movie is about Miles Morales, get this, the movie opens with Spider-Gwen and her narration, and the movie ends with Spider-Gwen and her narration. Like I said, this movie is always going to be, the trilogy will always be about Miles Morales. But this movie in particular is really about Spider-Gwen, because by the end of the movie, she has completed her arc for this movie. She's not in the same place as she was in the beginning of the movie. She's not. She's had a lot of resolve. And although things aren't working out the way she wants them to, she knows what she has to do. Sorry, I'm burping. She knows what she has to do. She has that confidence to do it. She resolved things with her father. You know, where he said, you know, like, I understand. Like, you got to go do what you got to do. And that first scene when you're introduced to Spider-Gwen, she's playing the drums and she has all that anger and just pressure and anxiety. And at the end of the movie, although, you know, it does end on a cliffhanger with Miles Morales ending up in another universe with the Prowler, who is also him from that universe. I thought that was amazing. Although you end with that cliffhanger, you end with a moment of peace and resolution, in my opinion, because the camera just holds up on her and like she's like smiling, and it's like, this is not the same Spider-Gwen that we saw from the beginning of the movie. You've seen her grow. Like, yeah, she went through a lot of things. Yeah, Miles is upset with her because he felt like she lied to him. And in some ways she did, you know, but she's owning up to it. And I loved how she didn't reveal her identity to Miles's parents. She didn't tell them what was going on, but she told them that I'm going to find him. I'm going to find Miles. She knows that she messed up, but she's actually taking the steps to trying to fix it. And I love that. So when people complain about that, like, oh man, it doesn't feel like it's, you know, a complete movie. I would compare it to The Dark Knight, to Empire Strikes Back, and definitely The Two Towers, where those movies felt complete, but they also left you with a little bit of a cliffhanger where you're like, oh man, I gotta see the next movie. And like the whole audience for both films, like, they just were like, like, you're just left with this, like, man, I want the next one, which opens in less than a year, in March 2024. And I loved how in the second viewing, when I watched it with my friends, how the whole audience was just clapping and laughing. And it was there's a reason why this movie went from apparently going to make 80 million to now it's tracking to make 120 million, because the word of mouth is so high. It's so great because it earns it, because it's now, like, my friends were like complaining to me that, like, oh, this isn't the great movie that you said it was going to be. To them, it's not, you know? But here's the thing. Yeah, you're getting these people that are saying that this is one of the greatest superhero movies. But even the people who aren't saying that, they're still enjoying the film. They still think that it's good. Like, I haven't found a very negative review. The most negative thing I've heard from people that I know is that it was just too much. It was just like a lot going on. And that's why I say, like, this is a movie that you're going to need to watch at least twice, maybe even 3 times, because there's so much there that so many cameos that you're missing that I absolutely love. So many references, so many jokes that I didn't catch the first time that I caught the second time. I loved how they had the PlayStation Spider-Man. I loved how they had Donald Glover as the Prowler from, you know, from the Tom Holland universe. At least I think it's the Tom Holland universe. I loved how Spider-Man 2099, which Spider-Man 2099 is a badass. Spider-Woman is a badass. Spider-Punk, although people said they loved him, I liked him. I thought he was pretty cool, but my favorite, if I had to pick, would be Spider-Man India. The moment he came on the screen, the whole audience was laughing. Like, he was just a scene stiller. I want to see more of him. But back to Spider-Man 2099, I thought he was just great, man. Oscar Isaac killed it in the role. He did amazing voice acting. He does a little reference to No Way Home where he says, and don't get me started on Doctor Strange and that nerd back in Earth 1999. And how they, you know, they messed up the multiverse a bit. Loved it, man. Love this movie. There's so much in it. Cannot wait to watch it again. Hopefully on an even bigger screen. This movie earns its runtime. It earns these smaller moments, these quieter moments. And just keep in mind, there's not a end credit scene here. There's not. So overall, I was going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10, but the more I think of it, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, which is rare for me. I love this movie. I think it takes what made the first one so great and doubles it, makes it even better. It makes you look back. I love the surprises. I loved how the spider wasn't from Miles's universe, from a different one. And he was never supposed to be bitten. I love those surprises and twists. Such a great movie, man. Look, and this is something I've had to mention to my friends. Animation is not just for kids. Okay? It's not just for kids. No, not for kids. It's a medium to tell a story, and I think for this particular story, there's nothing better than to make it animation, because you probably wouldn't be able to do this in a live action. So I don't like it when people say animation's not real, like a real movie. You know, I hate that, because it is. This movie gave me all the feels. It made me feel the way I felt when I first watched Star Wars or Indiana Jones or the first Avatar, even the second one. That sense of wonder, that sense of innocence, and like a childlike. I felt like I was a kid again. I loved it, and I want to feel that way again. And hopefully the third one doesn't disappoint. If the third one sticks the landing, by God, this is going to be one of, if not the top 5 greatest trilogies of all time. I love this movie. You need to go watch it, not only once. You need to go watch it twice. Not only twice, 3 times, 4 times. Support this movie because it earns it. Even if you don't like the story, you think the story is complicated, convoluted, you're still going to admire the action. You're still going to admire the animation. There's something to love for everyone here. I love Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse, and I think, although if you don't love it, you're at least going to like it. This is a masterpiece. Guys, thank you so much, and I'm going to go inside now, drink my raspberry. It's good. It's good. Thank you so much. Once again, 10 out of 10 for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Loved it, guys. Cannot wait to watch it again. Take care.